TCU's head coach, Jamie Dixon, has joined us. Coach, if you could get us started with some general comments about your team, that'd be great.
All right, great. Thank you. Thanks for having us, and good to see everybody today. As far as our group, it's it's like everybody, a lot of new players, but it is the way of college basketball. We've embraced it, enjoy it, like being a part of getting together in June and putting everybody getting together and trying to put a team together, and it's fun. We get to experiment, try some things out in the summers, and get better. So we've had, I'd say, 70 days together, and got Arkansas coming up here in an exhibition game, so we'll see what we look like there. And then we open up on November 4th, so exhibition game is November 1st. As far as our group, two experienced guards that are transfers in. Those are the guys that really stand out. I think they're here today that you were able to talk to them in Noah and Frankie Collins. And then Ernest was here, so he's the returning big guy for us. And really, the 5 forwards are interesting. I like all 5 of them. They're all new, a couple transfers, 2 guys that redshirted for us. And granted, we lost some very good players at those spots last year, but we replaced them with some very good ones and exciting ones this year, and 5 of them, really. So I feel we'll be fine there. We've got a lot of work to do. Like I said, we did some experimenting. Did some trying out some new things, and then obviously have whole new players. We got to adapt to them. I think is more so what we're doing nowadays than recruiting guys to getting them to fit into a program. They're going to have them maybe not for the 5 years that we had them when I was at Pitt and TCU initially. So it's a change, but it's fun. It's exciting, and I really like our group. I think we shoot it better than we have in the past. We're still trying to run and lead the country in fast break points. We've done that the last 2 years, so that hasn't changed. We're going to continue to push and score in transition, be the fastest playing team, fly up and down the floor. And then on the defense end, we've got to be better. We've got to be better defensively to get to the top of the league, and we've made that commitment. So we've got to fly around defensively, be more aggressive, and continue to force turnovers, continue to rebound, but we've got to have teams shoot a lower percentage. Gave up too many layups or higher percentage shots last year, and we've got to cut that down. So we've made it very clear to our guys, but excited about our group.
Okay, our first question will be on the back row in the middle section.
Hey, Coach. Barry Lewis, TCU on SI Killer Frogs. The last couple of seasons you've had...
There you are, thank you.
Sorry. The last couple of seasons, you've had one of the oldest teams in the league. Mm-hmm. This year, you've got a really young team.
Right.
How does that change your approach to the season?
Yeah, that was a decision. That was made. We had 5 guys, I think, got master's degrees last year in our program. We kind of, I think it was the rules had something to do with that. We saw the year, we figured it was going to be one more year the transfers where it was going to be still a year to sit out. So we took some transfers the year before, knowing they couldn't go. They'd be locked in for a year, and then moved on from there. We knew we'd be young this year. We had 2 guys redshirting as freshmen. Then we bring in 4 new freshmen. Some of that has something to do with honestly, monetarily, financially, where you're at, and what you have to do. And then we felt there'd be some guards that we could bring in as experienced guys, and we really targeted a couple different guys and came up with, I think, 2 really good ones with experience. But we're going to play some young guys at those other spots, and that's part of it. Our whole thing, my whole thing is get old, stay old. So we did at Pitt for years, and I would say people oftentimes would try to make fun of us or say that, but it was because we retained players. Kids didn't transfer; they didn't leave us. They liked what we were doing. They grew, and now we're in a whole different world where they could like you a whole lot, but they're gonna look at what the best opportunity is, and obviously one important reason, but other reasons too as well. But I think we're a little younger. Not usually the recipe for success, but I think we've got younger, mature guys. The 4 freshmen we brought in are a little bit more physically, and I hope mentally ready than your typical freshman. Micah fits that. I think Punch certainly fits that. David Punch and Malik to a degree. Now he got an ACL and that kind of put us behind a little bit. And then the two freshmen are a year older in Jace Posey and Isaiah Manning. So yeah, we got 6 freshmen on the roster. There's no question about it. We are younger. It's obviously I think that's why we don't have. I think we have 2% returning of scoring. Yeah, I mean I can see why we're picked a little bit lower, but I think we can surprise some people.
To the left and the second row.
Coach, Jamie Plunkett, Horned Frog Blitz. I'm over here.
Okay, Jamie, I hear you.
You talked a little bit about identifying the strengths of your group, and then you also talked about the kind of core identity that TCU basketball has had over the last few years. What are some of the strengths of this group specifically, and then how do you blend what they're capable of doing with what you want to do on the court?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those 6 new guys are going to have something to do with that. They're younger. We do want to run. We want to continue to be the fastest playing team as far as scoring in transition. We want to continue that. We've got to become more physical defensively. You know, everybody looks at us as a physical team because of our rebound numbers and I guess our past teams maybe at Pittsburgh, and we are, but we're in the best league, the most physical league, and so we've got to take it up a notch to get better. And this league is, the Houston was the best team, and they were the most physical team last year. And we're trying to get that message across. And Kansas is always physical, and we have to become more physical and without fouling, and we have to figure that out. And that's what we're here to do. So that's the process that we're in right now, and we're not there yet. We haven't figured it out, but we're going to continue to work on it. And so November 4th is coming very quickly. We need to be ready, but that's what we really need to incorporate here going forward.
Coach, we're going to go to the back row on the left side.
Hey, Coach. Henry Edgeler of the University Daily Kansan. You mentioned Ernest Uday. He's your only returning starter from last season.
Right.
How important is it to have a guy like him back on the roster this year, kind of as a leader to the younger guys?
Yeah, interesting. I mean, he obviously played at Kansas. I guess that's why you're bringing him up. Didn't play much at all, and so really it was his first year. And I looked at his high school career and his playing in the circuit AU. I mean, he wasn't a big producer as far as. We need more production out of him. There's no question. He started every game for us that he played last year. He got hurt at the end of the year, which hurt us. Missed 5-6 games down the stretch. Hurt us a lot. But he's such a great kid. Everybody loves him on campus. He's so fun to be around. Teammates love him. He's so unselfish. Really, we need to be a little bit more selfish and in a couple of things. And offensive end is one of those things. Scoring around the basket. So, that's a good thing to work with. He's such a great human being. He's outgoing, energetic. People love him on campus, and he just represents our program so well. So we need more out of him, though, simply put. For us to be better and be that more physical team. We were surprised how big, how physical, how he looks, but how he was not playing physical enough for us last year. We have to have him more physical without fouling and be as physical as the Houstons, the Kansas are. I mean, you get knocked around when you play against those teams without fouling, and that's what we have to get to be.
Okay, we've got time for one more question from Coach Dixon. Anybody want it? Front row here in the middle.
Hey, Coach. Matthew Postons, Heartland College Sports. Coach Campbell was here yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, talked about the same things you talked about, just in terms of wanting to play as fast as possible, get up and down the floor, maximize possessions. Do you two compare notes at all when it comes to offensive
it's funny, Mark. I recruited him out of high school, actually college, junior college, and high school. So I've known him for a long time, and then he worked at St. Mary's. So we have a lot of history prior to. He worked at Hawaii. I'd coached at Hawaii. He played at Hawaii, I should say. And then he coached at St. Mary's with Coach Bennett, who's a good, dear friend of mine, and a guy I grew up with in this coaching world. So, yeah, there's a lot of familiarity before he came there, and then we do talk hoops a lot. So a lot of ideas. I think he played that way prior to. I think he's still establishing. Obviously, his first year, and he's been a head coach 4 years, but. We do talk hand in hand, and that's always been. I've always been very connected with the women's coach in our programs I've been at. So they're always been dear friends and close friends and people that we talk with, whether it be Coach Peebley, who I was texting with yesterday, Coach Baronato, who I saw 2 weeks ago, as I go down and think about this. So. Yeah, he's. I think we have a lot of similarities. We had talked about doing something. I guess most teams in our conference have is the Noah shooting machine, and he claims to be a shooter. I claim to be a shooter. So we wanted to both get that machinery, I guess, or technology in our. We joked about it being any shooting. Apparatus we're all for. So the Noah, in case you guys are if I'm saying that, if you guys understand what I'm saying here. So yeah, Mark's a great guy. We do talk basketball and talk, he's coming to a new school. We talked about, challenges that we have and then we got a facility that we have to share and so a lot of things come into play. But we do have a lot of the same I think a lot of the same mentality or thoughts and concepts on the basketball court. Yes. All right.
Much.
Thank you, guys.